Welcome. This is the Trade Tribe, Season 1, Episode 10. My name is Taufik Suleiman, aka the Student Investor. As by no means am I an expert, but every week I'm looking to learn and bring my tribe along. This show is the Trade Tribe is a trade community and show where we learn to trade, share strategies, and contribute to making the tribe wealthier. This show is our take on how we analyze the markets, what things going to happen, and how we make plays on that, as well as share our learning journey, along the journey. Could we look? Just restart?
No, that's that itis, baby. That's that Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still sleepy from all that turkey, man.
I still need to. I'm still recovering.
You want to get a clap up. You get yourself woke up, or just slow clap, baby. Let's just wake it all up. And get ready to go. Get your elbows loose, man. It's podcast, baby. Back to work.
I was gonna start again.
No, keep going. Forget it.
Keep going.
Man, who you trying to impress? It's just me and you.
All right. This show is our take on how we analyze the markets, where things going to happen, and how we make plays on that, as well as share our learnings along the journey. Between our trading group chat and our weekly recorded calls, we want to see every young adult, a part of our tribe, thrive. So make sure to add us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and any podcast platform at The Trade Tribe.
This is
typical disclaimer: we're not financial experts.
This is a coaching moment. Is the reason why is because you're not in your normal setting. You're not where you want to be. But that's why it's so important to have a flow and not have to depend on setting, because you are the show. So don't forget that. Remember this feeling exactly. I could hear it from the moment you started. I was like, ugh, he sounds groggy, but you're not in the same place that you're supposed to be. So even to yourself, you sound different. But in embrace your settings. Is your show, your settings. You feel me? Like, the show isn't about the settings. The picture behind me and the billboard doesn't make the identity booth. It's my ability to get on here and talk, which makes the identity booth rock. So even if you started again, you still would have felt the same way. Push forward.
Facts. Just like usual, on our agenda, we go through the intro, guest intro, and check in, see how each other's weeks went. Go start off live with the meme of the week, dive deep into the lesson of the week, talk about what happened last week in review, as well as what's going to happen next week and the week ahead. Finally, share the members' picks, divulge into off topics, and go do an outro. Starting this week, what did you buy for Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Right now it's myself and Hero on the call right now. Let us know how your week went, Hero.
Oh man, for me, it was pretty straightforward. I went to go work at a food place for Thanksgiving. I enjoyed being able to do something small. It was kind of sad, 30 years of my life I've been going to the same place at Dairo's to eat Thanksgiving, and I couldn't do that. But it's still good. I text the mom. I'm breaking up. Oh no, I'm showing up clear.
I don't know. Maybe it's on my end.
Yeah, I'm still showing clear.
Yeah, I think her Wi-Fi is not that great. Keep going.
But I got to text Mama Dairo. Tell her next year we'll be there with her. I got the 6-hour prayer, which is cool. But everything was good. Everything's good. I just hope everybody was safe, and I hope you did the right thing. I hope you didn't try and go out there and kill Graham for some dry ass turkey.
Facts. That's what's up. Did you buy anything for Black Friday or Cyber Monday?
So I renewed. Black Friday and Cyber Monday are always renew your subscription days. If you have subscriptions, they're always half price now, and it always come every year. So if you're not it's just common sense. So PlayStation Now, which is $60, I got it for $40. Prime and all that shit, got it for $12 instead of $14. Like, it's just common sense. Renew your subscriptions on Black Friday. Period.
Facts. I had thought about that, but I just didn't go back and do it. I did it for one of my, I think
The
subscriptions
best part about it,
on a different platform. But I just don't want to do it for the ones. I just hadn't felt like, but that's a really smart money save tip right there. We dropping
man,
keys on this podcast.
I promise you, if it wasn't because I wanted to be like this self-righteous healthcare provider, I'd be a rich tycoon type dude, and I wouldn't give a damn.
Hey, but that's what makes us great.
Yeah.
That's what's up though. For me, similar, short work week, so that was great. Was able to take a moment to decompress, reorganize my life, spend time with my sisters. We haven't all been in the same place for a long ass time, so that was great. Celebrated my little sister's birthday. Did Friendsgiving at my sister's place. And just as context, I'm out in California right now, so I'm not in my usual spot. For those listening, I usually record out in Chicago, but today I am in San Diego, California, going to LA next week. We'll see. For me, I didn't really buy anything for Black Friday. I did buy a couple courses and different things like that were like super cheap to learn more about options and stocks and just other business stuff, just so I can learn, keep growing. I am looking to probably buy a couple clothes with the Black Friday deals going on or Cyber Monday deals going on. But besides that, still in low spend mode, trying to avoid spending money on much as possible, increase my savings, increase my investment accounts and all that. So that's where most of my money went this past week. And yeah, that is our check-in. This week, the meme of the week, you see a meme of someone on the left, you see I'm a god. You see a picture, just a white man looking like God. And on the right, you see a dog looking at the screen, not knowing what he's doing, saying, I have no idea what I'm doing. And this is just two stages of every trade that I go through. I feel like this is me on the left when I make a huge trade, 100% profit, 200% profit, all kinds of profit. I'm a god. But when it's, oh shit, okay, I don't know what stock to invest in next, or I take an L. It's like I have no idea what I'm doing. And I just
think that dog was me last week, because I was looking like I wanted to jump into an option, but I just kept hesitating to pull the trigger, and it was because the truth is I wanted to do a spread, and I ended up doing a spread. But hey, trust your gut. Don't come in here guns a blazing, because somebody gonna take your money.
No, that's definitely facts. I definitely feel the same way with you too. I feel like every once in a while, like if I accidentally click the wrong options price, or if I choose the wrong expiration date, I'm like, it's just things moving so fast that sometimes you make a few mistakes, or you feel like you're not sure what you're doing, and it's just a lot overwhelming. That's one of the things that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about enough, because again, as retail investors, we don't have as much access to the tools that professionals use or things like that. So especially with us just starting and learning, there's going to be we're going to be oscillating between, we're super dope traders versus we have no idea what we're doing. But it's because of that will and resilience to keep pushing to pursue wealth creation that we are able to eventually keep growing our accounts. I just really related to this tweet, found it a little bit funny, but also if anything more motivational as well. Yeah, that's the meme of the week. I think the meme of the week also ties into this week's lesson of the week. And I feel like in the past few weeks, I've done a lot of reflection on why was I losing money at the beginning of my trading journey, and why was I losing money, or in the most recent losing period I think I had a couple bad trades. I was like, okay, this is weird, because typically I should be at a point where I shouldn't be having this many losses in a row. So I went to go reflect and even think, okay, what are ways I can teach someone else how to do that? And again, the answer is that you don't have all the pillars that you have that make you a great trader. And what are those things that make a great trader? We talk about it every time on this podcast. We should talk about it in the group chat. You see it everywhere on social media and things like that. But I kind of narrowed it down to 8 for the sake of this episode. The first one being a lack of strategy. The second one, personal discipline of emotions. The third, risk management. The fourth, lack of consistency. Number 5, not enough time or time management. Not tracking progress and journaling, not having a team or a system for trading, but also most importantly, breaking your own rules. And we can jump into all of these, but I think these are very interesting because first off, a lot of people just jump into trading, especially recently with tools like Robinhood, access to capital from the stimulus check, or people just having extra money to play around with, and even just the time they have at home with all the lockdowns and things in place. I feel like a lot of people are just throwing money and just hopping into investing, which is great, and I'm all for it. People taking the initiative to go change their lives and their financial trajectory. But the thing that I'm seeing that a lot of them are missing is an actual strategy. They don't have an objective. They don't have an entry or exit plan. But I believe in the last 2 episodes, we did talk about investing strategies. So if you don't have a strategy, definitely go back and check that out. And we can teach you what are the ways to build your own strategy or come up with your own strategy. We have a template and just went on a deep dive on that. So definitely check the last 2 episodes, episode 8 of this podcast, and you can learn more. But it's interesting because people have this FOMO of missing out on the huge stock market rally that's going on right now, and they're taking that as an excuse not to really have a strategy and just throwing their money in this. I feel like later down the line, you're going to see a lot of posts about people that lost money, or reports about people that lost money with the whole market rally going on. Because of course, all stocks are going back up because it dropped heavily earlier this March when COVID fully hit. So I feel like this is something that people should really think about having, even in the slightest, even just a fake strategy, a mini strategy, something that works for them. And typically that strategy is broken into an objective, an entry, and an exit. Simple. Anything to add to that, Hero?
No, I would just in general for the whole list. This list isn't in order through personal demandings, because if you asked me what my number 1 rule would be, is breaking your own rules. Right. So like, don't take this list as a scale. These are all number 1s, but we just have 8 of them. That's not say, but lacking a strategy, it's literally any aspect of life that even if you did plan for something and it didn't go your way, because you made an adjustment or a plan, it at least dulls the blow and it prepares you for the next one. It's better to get hit by 1 haymaker than 2.
Facts. But again, I feel like even within your strategy, you should have a strategy for when things go wrong, and that just makes it a more solid strategy.
But I feel like that's kind of hard to do because hindsight is 2020, right? So like you as a trader of 2 years, yeah, that's a valuable strategy to have. But as a person who just picked up Robinhood for the first time, and you said, hey, look, based on Hero's rule, when this is low, buy here, and when it gets high, sell. That's a great strategy. What happens if it doesn't change? What if it stays at 7? Mm-hmm. What do you do then? So then that's when you have to become that's when you're the difference between good traders and bad traders are who can think on the fly.
Facts. And I feel like a lot of people recently have been, because of a lack of strategy, they've become reliant on people that are selling signals, which is cool or okay to start with, but I feel like in the long run is a bad idea. Everyone is
you only ever make as much money as that person wants you to make.
Exactly. And that's why I'm pro invest your own money, invest by yourself, not only by yourself, but you do your own investing. If you need to start,
if you're giving advice to someone, if you're giving advice to somebody, if Tawfiq told me he got into a trade at a strike price of $14, when I go look, it's going to be $18. So, and that's just because of I could have jumped on 10 seconds after him, and the strike price is now $18. But that is the blow you take when you are relying on other people. But if me and him are both watching the same thing and we text each other, hey, I got in at 14. Oh, I got in at 14 too. That means we're both thinkers. But it's still not opposed to helping someone else out. It's really important for you. It's such a fundamental.
Facts. The next one being a personal lack of personal discipline of emotions, things like personal motivation, fear of missing out, and greed. I think this is a really important point because with all the strategy, with everything, you can be a great trader, you can have everything you need, but at the end of the day, you're, as a human, the one that's pressing the button, pressing buy or sell. And if you don't have the motivation to do so at the right time, you're going to lose out. There's going to be a lot of opportunity costs. If you don't have the motivation to get out of a trade, again, still going to lose trade. If you have the fear of missing out, you're going to hop in without doing the due diligence and things like that, or you're going to get too greedy when you have a profitable trade and not get out. I think that actually happened to me this week. I was holding on to FSR. It was kind of a mix of greed / fear of missing out and a mix of what's it called? having an idea of this is going to definitely go higher in the future, which I was pretty much sure of. But I feel like even still, I should have gotten out when it was at its peak this week. I was up at, I think, 140% profit because it had a huge rally, I think, on Wednesday or Friday. And I honestly should have sold, but for me, it was a long-term play. So I was thinking, okay, I should still stick to that strategy. But honestly, I should have sold and got back in after it dropped, because it then dropped back down to about 70%, which was the day before. But I'm pretty sure it's still going to go up. But if I could have did it, I could have saved. I could have locked in that extra 70% and then got back in when it dropped again.
The calc system in that is so head game strong, because this is where your rules come into play. But I tell people constantly when they ask me, "Hey, Hero, how are you doing your stocks?" And I'm like, "You don't want to do stocks like me, because I'm not the." When you think of stocks, I'm not the person you think of. You're thinking of the dude that's making the option play, getting. I am literally banking on a company just not closing its doors, and that's how I'll continue to make money. I make money off of dividends. $53 a week, baby. That's $35 a week. I hit 53 this week. Hey, you know how I was walking around here, big cheese. You feel me? But that's, for me, that's simple, because in my mouth, in my head, I've already done the calc. Compound interest is a motherfucker. And it's gonna come in. But that fear or that lack of drive to do something, it can't be taught. It can't be trained. It's literally stocks is, and this is the part that woes me about people getting in the stock market, because you get to really see the extent of people's laziness. You could literally give them the book and everything, and you could call them on the dime and give them within a fraction of a second what to do, and they'll still hit you with an excuse that, oh, I can't do it, or I can't manage this, or I can't get on a call to hear about the future. Like I can't.
Facts.
So like it's mind numbing. I tell people all the time, like, oh, if I have no problem if you use my little code to get your free stock, because I know deep down inside, if I had to get you this far, you're probably not going to go any further than that.
Facts, man. You just dropped two gems, two big facts right there. First one with compound interest. Compound interest, this is a quote by Albert Einstein. He said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Everything regarding compound interest is what makes a lot of people millionaires and billionaires. Compound interest is going to be what makes me a millionaire. It's going to make me a billionaire. It's going to just change my life forever. And just because of that, that is just something that is super amazing, and people are not capitalizing enough on or truly trying to understand. And the second thing you said, which is everyone is trying to get rich quick. They're not leveraging compound interest. They're not trying to spend the time to grow their account over time. They're not being patient enough. They want, hey, what are you investing in? Okay, me, Hero, a group of people, the whole trade tribe, we hop on a call every Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Time, and tell you what are we investing in, how are we learning, how are we going to make money, how much we made last week. Numbers still not there. Like, everyone wants the money, but no one wants to hear how to get the money. It's mind-boggling to me, but it's hey,
not, because it's the janitor versus the CEO. Every CEO has 10 janitors. You never heard 10 janitors having 100 CEOs. It just doesn't work that way. Like there has to be a leader in the pack. Not everyone's going to be cut out for it. There's some people that can break lines, just like there's some CEOs that mess up big time and end up as janitors. So it's not above reproach, but you have to, man, you gotta respect two things when you're dealing with money: time and who's giving it to you. Because for example, Chris Cooper, he's very active in the chat group. He's a lawyer. So if he has to do dispositions for Monday's court cases, I'm not about to bother him with that. But he's so active in the chat room, and he's always asking like, "Hey, what is this? What is that? Oh, what are y'all doing with this?" So stuff like that is passive, but it's an effort. It's the lack of effort that will help you end up in the red real quick in this market.
Big facts. And that definitely ties into our second point again, being if you don't have the personal motivation, you're probably still going to lose money, or you're not going to make as much money as you should. So again, try to find your personal motivation and try to get rid of your FOMO or your greed. The next one going on real quick is risk management. Again, you can have a great strategy. You can be in the profit, but if you don't manage your risk, which is the opposite of the thing that everyone's looking for, which is the reward, that reward is going to disappear real quick, or it's just going to reverse on you and become risk or losses. Again, this is something that I'm still working on. I'm so proud of how far I have come, because before, when I first started with options, I would hold on to an option that would go negative 99%. Tell me, why am I still holding on to it? Like, how do I expect it to magically multiply 100 back so I can get my money back? Like, it don't make sense. But in the moment, your fear of missing out, your emotions, again, going back to the last point, is what really takes hold of you. So if you can manage your risk properly, for me, I set a hard stop at either max minus 40, or if I can't get to I actually shoot for, like, my goal is negative 14% and not it. Sometimes it goes a little bit over, sometimes depending on the trade itself, but I'm still getting better at it. That's something I'm working on even to this day. Risk management, risk management, risk management. That could be stop losses, that could be sizing your positions, not throwing your whole account in, sizing it based off
Man,
opportunity.
somebody said that stuff to me the other day. Somebody said to me, "Why did you make a stop loss of on one of my dividend stocks? Why did I set a stop loss of 2%? What sense does that make?" And I was just like, well, if it's a dividend stock, I'm constantly trading it. So for every plus I get, that's adding to the total. If the dividends I got off of there was $13 and I get it out at a plus $1.40, that's now $11.40 of dividends right there, and my stock back. Like, like you don't have to explain. For as dangerous as the word risk is, there are people who actually make charts and scanners based on assessing which people aren't managing their risk correctly to find stocks to buy. Because on a spread, when I'm buying a spread, obviously I'm looking for that, that big number, like in the call option, but then I'm going to be looking for in the sell call option for someone who's just holding on a little bit too long, who's going to be like, "Oh, you'll take this off my hands? Yeah, bro, let me hold that for you. No problem." I'm looking for that dude. Yeah, I'm looking for that dude. Oh man, you've been holding this for 6 days and you're down negative 90. I got you, bro. Don't even worry about this.
Don't worry, man. Save that 10%.
Yeah, give me that 10%. They'll take it and they'll run. And they'll be over there sitting like DJ Khaled in the background, like, yeah, boy, just made like they think they won. But I'd be looking for those people that don't manage their risk well.
That's a great point. Again, manage your risk. If you're not managing your risk, don't be surprised if you're losing money. Don't be surprised if you're losing money. On to the next one, lack of consistency. Again, if you're not consistently learning, if you're not consistently in the market, don't be surprised if you're losing money, because again, the market is ever changing. Every great trader will tell you the strategy they were using years ago is not the same strategy they're using now. Look at Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett has been using the same, although he's a great idea of consistency. But one thing that I've noticed, or a lot of people are talking about, Warren Buffett's in the past because he uses one strategy that worked decades ago, and now the market has evolved, the market has changed, and he's not been consistent in changing his strategy. He's been consistent in everything else, but again, that lack of consistency, in different aspects, such as doing your research, doing your due diligence, learning the markets, everything else that we're about to talk about, that lack of consistency is also there. And I've noticed it for myself that the weeks that I didn't do the things that I've done every single time are the weeks that there's a higher chance of me losing. So that lack of consistency is a clear indicator. Be consistent with every one of these things, everything else that you've been taught, everything you've learned, and just continue learning. Lack of consistency and all those things could definitely contribute to losing money. Next one, being not enough time or time management. And I talked about this on a couple of episodes. There are certain weeks where I just would wake up late. I'll miss the market open, and I'll either lose money or I'll miss out on a great trade. This is a real good reason. Not enough time. If you don't have the time, don't be surprised if you lose money because you didn't put enough time in, or if you're having bad time management. That's something I'm still working on myself. You are going to lose money, and slowly I've been getting better, and because of that, I've been minimizing the chances of me losing money. But again, time management is very key, and that could include talking about, hey, I'm only going to trade the first hour of the day, or I'm going to wake up this amount of time before the market opens, do my trading, do my research, and then get out the market. All kinds of everything revolving around how you manage your time, what you do with the limited time that we all have, because we all have the same amount of hours in this specific day. Just as you said, Chris Cooper, the lawyer, he only has a certain amount of time, and a lot of that goes to his job, his full-time job. So the fact that he's still able to make money in the markets is a reason why you should not have an excuse for making money or losing money in the market. You just gotta be able to manage that time better so that you can then prevent yourself from losing money. The next one being not tracking progress and journaling. This is a huge thing. A lot of people don't actually track. Okay, what are my results? How much have I made? What are the things that I've learned? What are the things that didn't work? What worked for me? Don't be surprised if you're losing money. If you lost money one time, you didn't keep track and reflect or journal why you lost money, and then you do the exact same thing again, guess what? You're gonna lose money. But if you had wrote down, hey, like to say, hey, this is what happened, this is what I should not do again, or this is what I should do again, you can then prevent yourself from losing money. And that's something I've been doing myself. I have bought a whole book journal for trading. I've been writing things down. I keep stuff all over, sticky notes, Google Docs, anything you can do to track your progress. It's great that a lot of the platforms that we use, like Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, they create a graph of your account performance over since you started. But one, those things are not fully accurate, especially when you put money in and take money out. A lot of the numbers change and are skewed based off that. But there's a lot more things such as percentages, things like that you need to really understand to really know, okay, how are you truly performing? Like if you tell me, hey, I made $1,000 this past week, I don't care. You could have made $1,000 off $1 million. That is less than 1%. If you told me your percentage, now we're talking. You made 1%. Okay, that makes sense. That's a lot of more information than just a dollar amount. If you made 100%, okay, now we're talking. That makes a lot more sense. For me, I'm a percentages guy. It shows you your progress. It shows you your results even better. So if you're not tracking this, if you're not frequently reflecting on it, you're going to lose money. Shout out to Hamid for joining the call. What's good?
What's happening? Sorry, I had another meeting that was running like super late. Supposed to be over like an hour ago.
No problem. You were still eating the turkey. It's fine. No problem, man.
One thing I will add about that is this is something that is super important to me. I didn't start getting good at dividends until I started logging dates, because even though you say to yourself you can figure out the lock-in dates, when I was deep into my dividends when I had 53 stocks of different dividends, there's no keeping track of a mental note of that. You're literally have a phone that is designed to remind you of things that you say to remind you of. So if you write it down and say, hey, remind me of this. Oh, okay, cool. So today's the last day to lock in dividends. Buy 10 shares tomorrow, sell it at its peak, and I'm good till the next time I have to buy those dividends. It's clockwork is what it is. And there's so many finite systems you can use to make this easier on yourself. We have smart devices, just not smart users.
I am dead. You should attack every single Apple, Android, and other phone user in the world.
Bring it.
Well, you just dropped a great gem, and that should honestly be number 9. Number 9, plan ahead. That is a great point. Actually, surprised I didn't write that down. The reverse of tracking your progress, journaling, and reviewing and reflecting is opposite. Plan ahead. We do it every week ahead segment. We talk about what is going to happen in the future. If you are not planning ahead, you are not preparing yourself the best to make money. And because you're not planning ahead, you might lose money. Just each time that you don't do your due diligence, each time you don't look into, okay, what's going to happen next week, is a chance you're going to lose money. Like if we don't talk about, next week people are announcing that COVID is going to come out, vaccines are going to come out, or the election is going to happen 2 weeks from now. If we didn't know that, if we didn't plan ahead and factor that into our schedules, we could be taking huge L's, because one, we wouldn't know what is the thing affecting our stocks at that moment in time. So planning ahead, that's a great point by Hero. The next one is not having a team or a system. This is a huge thing, especially for retail investors, people that are doing individual trades, people with Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, whatever app you're using. You can be great, you can win, but there's going to be higher chance of you losing because you don't have a system in place. That could be an Excel spreadsheet they use. They go through a couple steps, a checklist, a group chat, a group of people, a team. When you have more people on your side, there's a quote that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with a group of people. And it's super helpful. Ever since we started the Trade Tribe, ever since we started Task Traders, I feel like my investing has taken a huge skyrocket. Like I'm not the same person I did when I started investing in the stock market. And because the people, we're bouncing ideas off each other, we're learning. Iron sharpens iron, all that. If you don't have a team or a system, you may keep losing money. So if you can't create a system, create a team. If you can't create a team, create a system. If anything, create both of them. Those will really take you far in life, but also in the stock market and investing. And lastly, every trader should have their own rules. Hero already talked about this. I won't talk too much more about it. Don't break your own rules. I catch myself breaking my rules every once in a while, and I'll tell you, those are the exact moments where I lose money. I actually need to get a sticker or a poster, just list out all my rules and just keep that up on my wall sometime. But the biggest one, probably, as Hero said, is don't break your rules. If you do, you're probably going to lose money. But yeah, that's pretty much our lesson of the week. This week we talked about why do I keep losing money? Why do we keep losing money? And we just answer some of it. If you have anything to add, Hamid, let us know.
No, that last part about don't break your own rules is key. Because that's what you base everything off of. If you start breaking your own rules, then everything just goes out of whack. So I definitely agree with that.
Facts. And you heard it here, man. Moving on. Last week, we completed the reading on the book called Calculated Risk by Kevin Trey. This is an amazing book, and I'm still going to go back and reread it because there's a lot of gems in there that I probably didn't catch again. I'm definitely going to go back. But even better news, they are having a Black Friday special. So if you take the retail price, apply the discount code TradeTribe, and then account for the Black Friday special, which is probably going to end sometime this week, you can get the book value of $100 for $29. That is 71% off. If you are missing out, this is the perfect time for you to buy this book. We're giving you all the discounts, everything. So definitely get this book. It's a great read. We talked about it on a previous episode, so go check those out if you're interested in reading them. The takeaways are up on the slides right here. But for the next book, this was actually a book recommended by someone on our Instagram page. One of the people, I can't remember his name, but we'll talk about that later. He said a great book would be to read How to Day Trade for a Living by Andrew Aziz. So that's probably going to be our next book. We'll talk more about the first few chapters next week. So if you are in the chat or in the Trade Tribe, definitely get this book. I'm going to try to get a copy and share with everybody. But yeah, next book will be How to Day Trade for a Living. So stay tuned for the next couple of weeks as we review that, dive in, and share our learnings from the book. And this past week was a really short week, but in the span of 3 days or 3.5 days, still a lot of stuff still happened. But first off, I want to let y'all know that the tribe is still eating. Last week we were eating. This week we're still eating. Next week we're going to eat, and we're still going to eat. And we're not talking about Thanksgiving food here. We're not talking about the dry turkey you have at your parents' house, but we're still going to be eating off the stock market. I would like to welcome our new members, Ozioma. He's one of my coworkers from Microsoft. Enoch's one of my pro fights, and the slew of bots that we added to group chat. Our group chat is getting more official, and we're just looking to grow and give ourselves the best tools we can to be great investors. So we did add a couple of bots to our group chat, and it's a great new feature that is having a great amount of success in the group chat. We're able to call out most active and popular stocks, get information, automate the news features, and things like that. So that was super great. And I'm looking forward to just seeing how the Trade Tribe grows over time. And if you were not paying attention, if you were too busy eating the turkey last week, the markets were closed on Thursday for the day of Thanksgiving as a holiday, and they did close early at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Friday. So that was something interesting that a lot of people are not used to. So all the new traders were not used to that. We did call it out on our last episode. So make sure you are subscribed to our podcast to keep up with the news and things that we'll tell you about. And lastly, I've been seeing a lot of reports saying that this Black Friday and Cyber Monday has been the biggest one in history. I think that's a lot contributed to the fact that everyone's at home. People can't go out to the stores in person. COVID is still going on. So websites like Shopify, Amazon, Walmart, they're just making a lot of money. And I'm expecting that to be priced into the next quarter earnings report. So if you are buying into these stocks, you will see a huge increase. I've been holding on to a couple shares of Shopify, and Shopify went up this past week. They went up. They're now back above $1,000. I think they're sitting at about $1,020. And I bought a couple more shares when it dipped down to 900. So that's easily 100 profit for each share that I held that I bought this past few weeks. So again, if you're looking into those are something to look out for. Plan that ahead for next quarter. I'm already knowing what they're going to report in the next quarter report. Hey, biggest amount of sales, biggest amount of revenues, Amazon, Shopify, Etsy. Those are the stocks to watch. What do y'all think about Black Friday and Cyber Monday?
Definitely, especially with the hashtag Black Week, because they've extended it. A lot of these things have been extended to give people who can't get out opportunity to back out. Cyber Monday has been extended all the way to Cyber Week. So I don't, with the enthusiasm is up. Vaccines are on board. The man in orange is about to leave. There's already talks of a new stimulus bill being etched up right now. That's in the 1.6 trillion range. People are excited because it's an opportunity to get back out into the world. But I'm not going to sit here and deny that this week seemed so off. For it to be such a short time, people had to be very revealing. Tesla made me my quota of earnings and then some this week. So I was very pleased with that. 4% increase on my chart is $600. That's amazing for me. And it came from the help of Tesla. And the week before, I think Tesla gave me enough money to buy a full stock at my fractional share point. So that was pretty awesome too.
Facts. Anything else on me too?
No, this is like the fact that it's a whole week. It definitely makes it more profitable because usually at one point it was like, is Black Friday really going to be a thing? But because it got extended, it makes it like, okay, it's a thing, and because people can go online and stuff like that.
Facts. I also just found out about a different hashtag called Small Business Saturday. I did not know that was a thing until this week. Apparently, it's been going on for the past 10 years, but I feel like it was a lot bigger this week because of the pandemic. So many small businesses have closed down around the country, around the world, just because of the effects of the pandemic. So if you can, definitely, a lot of people were definitely eager to support these small businesses, and that was really great. And it is interesting. That was the first time I've ever heard of it, especially now, the time that is what's needed the most.
Yeah.
But moving on, there's been a lot of positive vaccine news. We already have three vaccine companies: Moderna, Pfizer, and I think AstraZeneca. Those are the biggest three that have released news. I think there was more positive news this week as well. And Hero, you can share more about this, as well as the rapid climb in COVID cases and hospitalizations.
So this is the good. This is a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt. The good news is that on the 7th of December, all the way to the 9th, there's going to be a rehearsal of the efficacy and the advocacy of these vaccines on a major scale. The vaccines are currently sitting in all major hospitals. I think about 23 major hospitals right now with the heaviest COVID situation. The vaccines are actually out in the wild right now to be used on the staff and the sickest people if the efficacy and the independent reviews come out as positive on the 14th. So as early as the 14th of December, the first batch of the vaccines could be distributed to the public. This gives us two things. One, it's very unlikely that Moderna at Moderna and Pfizer are going to have bad news, especially since they have pushed for efficacy rulings by independent parties. So that's confidence right there. A few weeks ago I said I don't like the fact that they are saying their grades are fine, but for them to now be pushing for this ruling instead of just the CDC's ruling is further proof that they want to do this community. So that's great. The bad news is two a week before the election and a week after the election, two major events happened. Halloween, where a bunch of snot-nosed kids were running around, touching other people's doors and going to other people's houses. It was a super spreader. Then the election happened, which was another super spreader. And we saw 2,000 people die a day in this country for 5 days straight. Man. Thanksgiving just happened, and our flight pattern shows over 400,000 flights taking place. Whether these were empty planes or not, that's still too many people moving in a country that hasn't controlled this virus. I think there's a major concern of efficacy that needs to be brought up with the FAA about not shutting down flights during Thanksgiving to stop the spread of COVID. But we'll see. Hopefully these vaccines do something before the virus does.
Man, so you're basically saying that you're pretty much guaranteeing there's going to be bad news this week or the week after that will cause these stocks to drop.
In 2 weeks, we're going to see 2,000 plus people dying every day, and that's going to scare everybody. Because I mean, that's just what happened that's what happened in the past. That's what happens after every major event of a super spreader. 2 weeks later, people die. A week from now, hospitals will be full, and then people die in hospitals.
That's why I've been avoiding kind of investing in these stocks like Moderna, Pfizer, because as much as I support them creating vaccines and putting out there, it's just been one way too quick, way too many high numbers in terms of 90% efficacy rate. But then COVID cases rising, and when they release that into the world, that number is not going to stay at 90% or 95% efficacy. It's going to either drop, in my opinion. So people are going to be disappointed. Some people are going to be hurt. And those people that have been investing in these companies are probably going to pull out. So combine all of that together, I can see the stocks dropping.
Yeah, and the bullheadedness of the virus about people who have been posting nonsense about, oh, it's made out of fetal tissue. Like, shut up, you idiots. It's an mRNA virus suppressant. It's basically, if you had to go fight against Mike Tyson, you want to be getting punches in practice from someone of that caliber before you walk into the ring and get hit by one of his punches. You need to know what it feels like before you get in there and get your ass whooped. R.I.P. Nate Robinson.
I was about to say that.
Like if you don't, and that's what vaccines are designed to do. These type of vaccines are designed to do. They're designed to teach your body how to take the punch, so the punch doesn't kill you.
Another thing to watch out to is as you look into those things, especially because of a lot of the big part of these vaccines with the testing. A company I've been mentioning off and on, PPD, they just went public earlier this year. They were actually in the pivotal step for Moderna. They did a lot of the testing for them while they were going through FDA regulations. They do a lot of the testing. They take care of the testing for the three major pharmaceutical companies in the country. So any chance we had a vaccine is going to go through them. So they're a sleeper, somebody to pay attention to. And the good thing about them is that they're not as volatile. So it's something that you can put money into and feel safe that you're not going to wake up one day and it's all gone. So definitely somebody in the background to put money into, because they're good as the vaccine stuff works and they're a part of that. We're not getting a vaccine without them playing a role.
Big facts. I remember you calling that out in one of the previous episodes, and also
they just posted on LinkedIn how like Moderna, like how they're a big part in the Moderna thing and things like that. So yeah,
that's dope. I might have to go back and buy shares. I remember I had bought it, and once you brought it up, I looked into it as well, and I did lock in a small percentage, but I was trying to allocate my funds to something else. But now that I'm trying to clear off some of the swing trades, I might buy a couple more shares for the
it's like $35 a share, so it's something that's like kind of safe, and you can watch it grow slowly.
Dope. That's about the vaccine news. That's about the COVID cases and hospitalizations. I think it's going to be a huge player in the next few months, as it has been this entire year. But despite all of that, the Dow Jones, the SPY, the Russell, they've been all just shooting up. Like the Dow Jones has been up for I think about 12% for the past month. The S&P 500 and Russell all taking off as well this week. So the markets are very optimistic. We're still in a bull market. If you are not aware, we are in a bull market, so you can easily throw darts at any stock and it will probably still go up in the long run, depending on how long you hold it. And it's just crazy. I think it's good because people are making money in the market, but I think it's still a little misleading with the conditions. And of course, as things get better, the positive news still coming out next year. People are expecting things to kind of go back slightly to the old normal, although it'll still be a new normal. The markets are reflecting that. What do y'all think? You think this is crazy? You think this is absurd? You think this is realistic? This makes sense?
It's not hype, because nothing's real until we have proof. If Harvard or Yale or Johns Hopkins come out and say this vaccine it doesn't meet our efficacy standard, we're back in April. We're back to square one. Mm-hmm. Every one of those vials will be thrown away. Or, I personally won't take it at that point. We need substance. I think we got a good boost when we started to see the Trump administration yield to the fact that, this Orange Oompa Loompa lost, and he's going to have to give transition of power. But I also feel like people we're running out of good news. Fact. And 2020 is far from over.
Fact. So you're kind of expecting some major bad news to come in.
If 2020 is done showing us anything, is not what it expects. No, and in 1 month left, we got 1 month left. Man, this is literally the final act, the climax. No, I'm good.
No, I definitely agree. I definitely have my stop losses locked in tight on every single one of my plays, even the ones I have long term. I don't do that. On my long term plays. The max output is about 20% on my long term plays, but this time I put 10% stop loss on my long-term plays, because if things go south, I want to still have my capital. I still want to have my cash on hand. But I think it's still a great milestone. The Dow Jones went up to 30,000 for the first time. The last major milestone was 25,000 and 20,000, and it's been oscillating back and forth, up and down above it. So I do pretty much guarantee it's definitely going to drop below 30,000 again within this next few months to year. But again, it's still on the up and rising. The S&P 500 again back up over 360. And other indexes as well. I think the markets is just going higher and higher. I think the Nasdaq is at 12,000. Yeah, this is interesting. You have any thoughts on me?
I think people. So the first few months of the virus, people were like unsettled, they don't know what's going on, and still nobody knows what's going on. But I think people are starting to realize that you know what, we have to like, we can't stay scared forever. We have to start get back to our trading ways and figure out how we're gonna do with the virus. So like people are being cautious, but they're not being as hesitant as they were before, because I think it's just the fact that they realize like, you know what, I'm not gonna stop trading for forever. So I have to start. I think people are starting to just realize, get used to the virus thing, but still being cautious to know that things could still change, something could still happen. But I don't think people are as scared as they were before, because they're at the point like the virus is going on for so long. They're like, okay, I'm supposed to be scared to trade forever. So I think people are like, they're cautious, but not nearly as what they were back in April or March. But if something bad happens, we might get back to that point.
Facts. That's a great point. Moving on, we have the Ozon IPO. For those that don't know, Ozon is the Russian e-commerce company. You can think of it as the Russian version of Amazon. Similar to how me and Hamid have been talking a lot about Jumia being the African version of Amazon. I feel like this is another great player. Russia is a huge country in itself. So when you have the biggest e-commerce company coming out and IPO, you should be paying attention. They did just IPO this past week. They raised over $990 million. And I think this is something to definitely pay attention to. Like just this past few weeks, I think over the past few months, Jumia has more than doubled. So if anything has been noticed this year will probably be marked as the year of electric vehicles and the year of e-commerce with companies like Shopify, Etsy, and things like that. But with another player coming into the fold, which has already been in the fold, but just coming into the public fold, I think it's definitely something to pay attention to. I might buy a couple shares and just hold on to it for the long run. I'm pretty much seeing that will go up. Their revenue has been going up. Their numbers are looking good when I looked at them earlier this week. And it's looking like a strong buy for me. What do y'all think?
The thing I always want to jump on these companies, but it goes so against my dividend tracking list. It requires me to do a PE ratio instead of a dividend ratio, and it's just so hard to justify swinging a stock or adding it to the list of my stocks. Like I've gone from 53 down to 20, but it's still like I don't want to have to sit here and babysit you, and knowing that I'm babysitting you and not getting paid for it. But like if Jumia or Ozu becomes the next Amazon, I don't want to sit there with mud on my face either. So like when it comes to long-term investing, you got to have a hype train to back you up. So I really rely a lot on the tribe for this one, because it's like I don't see the benefit in holding something for free.
Facts. I can definitely see your point. How about you, Hamid?
I always buy 1 or 2 shares of these things when people mention them, and I put a stop loss once I'll get past the 5% mark. And if it rocks, it rocks. If it drops below 5%, then they don't got a shot anyway.
Facts. I think this is definitely something that might drop a little bit. Typically, when companies IPO, there is a small dip right after for those private investors that have been holding it since they kind of raised funds, selling and locking in their profits. So I'm going to probably either wait for that dip to happen, maybe if it's not already happened. But I think for me, I would definitely go buy in. But I definitely understand your point. Sticking to your strategy, that's exactly what we preach. Stick to what works for you. Stick to what you believe in. Yeah,
I just believe in being paid to hold a stock.
Facts.
If the stock PE ratio isn't over 10% a day, what's justification do I have for holding you?
But that's the thing. I feel like a lot of companies these days, they're becoming more hesitant to IPO, and they're also trying to be more hesitant with releasing dividends. So I feel like with dividend investing is a great strategy, but I think a lot of the newer companies that are coming out are probably not going to ever do dividends again, if that makes sense. Typical companies I see doing dividends are those older companies.
I jumped on not Home Depot, but Lowe's when they were $90. I think they're at 150 right now. So, and I'm just making dividend pays off of that. Like, they are one of the longest, like, that was one of the first stocks I ever bought. Yep. So I don't know if it's nostalgia, but also it just makes sense to me to hold on to them and just keep getting dividends. So, like, companies can be profitable and make the dividend, but also it gives you a reason to have a shifting market, because every time you go bearish in your stock, it's opportunity for new money. If you're a trusted brand, you're not afraid of being bearish because it's new money. You know your old faithfuls are going to be there. You're just inviting new people to spend money on you. But that's that top 2% greed. No, we want to stay over this limit no matter what. And that's where you'll see those funky ass supports coming out of nowhere, messing everything up.
Facts. I definitely feel like a lot of companies are trying to do that. Like, I've noticed Elon Musk doing that with the Tesla stock. He would throw something else so that Tesla drops, but then new money hops in and just makes the price shoot up higher. Yeah, so that definitely is something that I've noticed going on. A lot of the old money is exiting the market, but a lot of new money is coming in this year. So that is a great point. That is a great point. We should definitely have you come on and do an episode and just teach us all about more dividends investing. Like, for me, I bought into SBG. That's the Stillman Property Group. They're the ones that run pretty much a lot of the REITs for the biggest malls in the country. And I'm looking forward to that dividend payout, man. I'm looking forward to it.
That in AMC, baby. I was like, oh yeah. I will take your last goddamn dime, man. See, but season 2, look forward. I want to get my chart and my journaling right for that, so I can have something proper to show.
Definitely looking forward to that. But that wraps up that. Moving on, another big thing happening this week. Salesforce announced they're in talks of buying out Slack. If you're not paying attention, that Salesforce stock ticker CRM buying Slack, the productivity tool. They're kind of like similar to Discord that we use, but it's a little more cleaner, a couple different features, but they have similar integration, similar multi-threaded conversations. Their stock ticker symbol is work. And on that day that they announced it, the stock was halted twice. They didn't announce for sure that they're buying them. It was just news that they're in talks for a deal. But apparently it's huge. That is huge. Salesforce trying to buy the entire company, and I think they were talking about a full-up cash deal. Typically, they normally spread out the deal over months and do options. Hey, we'll give you a percentage of the stocks and things like that. But I think in the news or the articles were saying this is going to be a cash buyout if it does go out. And a lot of people were hopping in on Work's stock symbol, and it went up. I can't remember what amount. I think it went up over 20%.
That comes out 37%.
37%. That's how much it rose.
It rose 30%, 37% that week, in a week, all of last week.
That is crazy. What do you think that? What do you think that says for the company? What do you think that says about investing in it? Just anything regarding that?
I mean, the wave in itself is the disappointing part, because when you talk about a buyout, what you're really talking about is a consolidation. It makes the market smaller. I'm against that, because we run into situations where there's less places for you to spend your money. And if there's less places for you to spend the money, that means there's one more person monopolizing the system. Slack has an innovative part, but this is why startups are frowned upon. Because if you're just starting up just to be bought out, then your innovation has been stunted from the moment you started. Nice. But then again, who am I to complain? If someone offered me $2 billion for ETO, they could have had that shit in a heartbeat. So, like,
hey, I gotta speak into existence.
Yeah, I gotta preach what I speak. But I would hope that, like, if I designed a service or something, I would become a royalty earner versus a payout earner.
Makes sense. That makes sense. And those intricacies are what really tell you if you had a great deal or not. Like, this is completely unrelated, but those contracts, if I don't know if y'all paid attention what happened with Dave Chappelle, that's something going crazy. Read the fine print. If you don't have
Dave Chappelle, I stand with Dave Chappelle as a black man, but Dave Chappelle as a businessman, That's on you, bro. You're a man of your word. You had money when you signed that contract. You could have paid any lawyer to look at that.
That's tough though. That is tough though. He was just like what, 15 when he signed that?
No. He was 22. 22 with a kid on the way and a wife. Like you signed your wedding agreement. You signed the hospital bill to have your kid. So like it costs nothing. If you went to a lawyer and gave him $1 on retainer and said, hey, look, this is let's say hypothetically the contract was $10 million. Hey, lawyer that I'm putting on retainer right now, read this contract. Is this the best that money can buy? And if it is good, I'll pay you this much. If you can find it to be better. That is a simple ordeal. But what he failed to do in this is realize that this is a teaching moment for Black people. We need to become financially literate and business savvy. Dave Chappelle came out and said, I was tricked. I was wrong. I get it. Here's how you should have done it. I'd have a lot more respect for him versus him coming out and just bitching and complaining, because truth be told,
I think he did start with that. He did start out like, hey, I was
no. He just said, is it right that they did this to me? And everyone said, no. The answer is yes, because you signed it. No one picked your hand up and made you sign that paper, bro. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll be a lot more sympathetic. And it just, I'm actually going, I did a whole podcast on this. But basically, in that series, he told a joke about how the guy tricked him on the card table and he grabbed him up and said, don't get between a man and his meal. Dave Chappelle, you're in the way of Viacom eating its meal. You're still in the way, my guy. You didn't learn anything from that past experience. Get the fuck out of the way or start eating. He was in the way.
True, definitely a different perspective from what I kind of saw. But I think it's definitely still foul play on their part, like taking advantage of people.
Dave Chappelle's contract and everything with Netflix is no different than every single contract anybody in the music industry has signed. It's the same kind of concept, the same thing. It's the fact that they gave you this money, you had no idea that you were going to blow up like you did. But Viacom, on the side of a business, they understood that you were going to blow up like this, and it was a good business move on Viacom's part. Dave Chappelle was young, and he was like, I need this. No way, Dave Chappelle thought he was going to be where he was at. And that's just Viacom.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Viacom had more faith in Dave Chappelle than Dave Chappelle had in himself.
Of course.
Period.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely an interesting perspective. That's definitely different than what I come in with the notion of.
And I just know this. I literally went through this last week with an artist, and I was going over their contract. I literally just went over this last week. It's the same kind of thing. Yeah. So, yeah.
Facts. Now, thank you guys for giving me that different perspective. But moving on. Last week, everyone's been hyped up about Bitcoin. It's so interesting what happened. We had mentioned in one of the previous episodes that at around the 18,000 to 20,000 episode, there's going to be like some resistance. It's going to be a little bit of selling off, people that have been holding on. And exactly, guess what happened? Once it hit, I think 19,100, it dropped all the way down to 16,000 and something. But now it's slowly rising back up. Is I think 18,400. And I think within this next week, I can see it going over that resistance. If not, it will drop again a little bit and kind of hold there, but I still have strong beliefs that it will go up to my price target or area I think is realistic within the end of 2021 is about 30,000, but who knows? I used that opportunity to buy in on the dip again. It went down and I bought in through about another $500 into it. Gonna see how that plays out. Again, this is not me saying, hey, go buy Bitcoin, but for me, I'm open to new technology like cryptocurrency, and I'm looking to see where this goes. I have strong faith that it's going to go up above that, especially with a lot of smart money going in. And if you don't know what smart money is money being held by institutional investors, venture capitalists, CEOs, technologists, people that have inside information and really understand how things work. Jack Dorsey backing it, Square backing it, all these different big people backing it. So it makes sense for me to buy into it. But that surge was crazy. It dropped. I can't remember what caused it to drop, but it was crazy seeing waking up that next day and saying, "Oh, it dropped." Huh?
If you could use it in the terms of contracts, it hit its price point, and everyone was like, "This is the money I wanted to make. This is the money I'm going to take."
But just as you said,
I'm going to come in now. If it drops back down to 16, I will buy in. But I'm going to be so furious that I have to watch this different color bar on my screen now. I'm such a grandpa. I'm such a boomer about this, but it's just because people force it. Jack Dorsey bought into Bitcoin, and Twitter got a bump in its in its stock price.
Mhm.
Twitter hasn't been profitable yet, but it's just the hype. People fall it, and I hate it. But if
Facts.
dumb people are gonna put their money there, I'll gladly take it.
Facts. Hey, I'm still gonna hold on to my Twitter stock. They just released the fleets, those disappearing fleets and stories now, which is crazy. But
And
hey,
it
I
doesn't
use
work.
Twitter.
So
Hey, I'm a strong believer in
yeah.
Twitter. I'm gonna hold on to my Snapchat and Twitter stock. If I'm gonna use social media, hey, I'd love to get paid for it. You feel me? I'm not gonna use it for free, as you said. But it was interesting going back to the Bitcoin talk. Coinbase, one of the biggest exchanges for Bitcoin, went out. They were down for I think a couple of days and were just not working. I think their website was working or something was not working, but I think the app was still working. But it was crazy. I'm not sure if it was due to the Bitcoin surge or the whole sell-off or the dip, but it's just interesting to note that that happened. And I'll probably look into that this week as things are going on and things play out. But that was definitely something to watch. Bitcoin took that quick dip and is looking to be going up. It may take another dip. We never know, but this is something to definitely pay attention to. And I'm trying to read up more and learn more about cryptocurrency along with this investment journey, because I feel like in the future we're not going to be using cash. We're going to be using digital currency. If anything, I'm more of a strong believer in blockchain itself than in cryptocurrency. So my biggest reason for being in Bitcoin and being in Ethereum, being in Ripple is because of the blockchain technology. And I need to go read up more on it. But I think that's going to be a huge way for this booming economy and industry. But moving on, we got Tesla. Man, Elon Musk, everyone at Tesla has single-handedly made people millionaires, people money just from the stock, mainly because of their options, stocks options. I think it's mainly the stock options that have been going crazy and the volatility that has been driving the price up. But this past week, Tesla took
because there
off.
isn't been any new news. Yeah.
There has been a couple, buying a couple, building more factories in China, doing this. They just dropped the tequila bottle, which was funny to me. But there's been a decent amount of news going on with Tesla. But I think as things are going on, people are starting to pay attention to this huge electric vehicle boom. And everyone thinks, what is the best electric vehicle I can buy into? Oh, Tesla. All right, Tesla, take my money. And I think that's just driving up the prices even more. But it's interesting. Tesla's been taking up. I think Tesla is sitting right under $600, and that was right after. This is after the stock price split. A couple weeks ago or months ago, Tesla had split its stock. It did a 5-to-1 stock split, and for those that don't know, that means you take one stock and divide it into the same a certain amount of shares, but still have the same value. So the main reason why stocks do that is so that the price looks more attractive to new investors and people are more willing to buy in. I feel like it's a little bit irrelevant these days with platforms allowing you to do fractional shares. But again, a lot of the things that go on in the stock market is psychology, numbers game. What is a number that people want to buy into? And typically that's a multiple of 5. It's 5, 10, 20, 50. Those are the numbers people are typically looking at. And when you bring the stock price back down and bring it around that a multiple of 5 number, you're going to see more people buying up. And I think this is a reflection of that happening. After the stock split, the stock is still going up, and they're probably going to need another stock split if they want to do the same strategy again. But just because of that, Elon Musk is now the second richest person in the world now. Like, that is crazy to me. Just in this last year, he's taking over that list. He's, man, it's just crazy. It's just crazy, all the stuff going on. What do y'all think about that? Tesla, Elon Musk, everything going on.
The guy, I bought into that 5 split when it got down to like 100, and I got my 3 shares, and I thought, okay, cool, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm sitting with these 3 stocks, and I don't know what to do with them because it's so nerve-wracking. Because he's one tweet away from saying the N-word, but he's also one tweet away from saying I've built a bullet train that can travel from the east to west coast in 33 minutes. I could have made it 30, but they said it was too fast. Like, he's that type. So he's the Tony Stark. He's the Tony Stark we want, but I don't know if we need him. Like, so I'm always so nervous to start. But then when it makes me $53 in one day, and my game is to always make 35 a week on a stock, like, it's just too much to ask for. So I take it with stride. I'll never have the balls to do an option trade on Tesla, but I will gladly scalp off the top of that second stock and that third stock. I'll gladly scalp over it. And I think the part where I'll start taking them a little bit more seriously when they start showing a little bit more maturity in the diversification of those stocks. There's no reason why you would go into a 5-way split versus you just then saying, hey, let me pay the people who are holding my stocks a little bit of dividends. I don't see that from him. There's too many big companies who don't think about paying the people who are keeping their company afloat.
No,
You
that's
got
fact.
rich, Elon. That's
Fact.
great. But like on the next board meeting, if someone's like, when are you going to start? Are there books in the blue right now? Like, I don't know if his books are in the blue. Like, he just became profitable last year. So are they still profitable? Has the lithium shortage made things more difficult for you? Is Biden's plan to put the electronic charging stations everywhere going to benefit you? Is that a profit that or does Tesla need a special outlet? Are you being a goofball and making your outlets specialized? So there's a lot of things I question with him. And I don't know if him being in charge of that company is going to be a reality in 20 years. But in 20 years, if he's not, Tesla's nowhere going to be, not going to be what it is right now.
Facts. The CEO definitely makes the company. The person driving the car is the person that makes the trajectory of the car or the success rate of that company. I lost my analogy there, but you get what I mean. Yeah,
we get it. The driver's in charge.
Yeah,
basically.
A few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago now, Elon tweeted some stuff about his COVID results, how he took like 6 tests or whatever like that, and all of them had different results.
Yep.
Like so this is the thing to point out. Most of the people who are really deep into Tesla are also a lot of people who believe in what's it called? What are those conspiracy theories and all that kind of stuff and things like that. A lot of people who think the COVID thing is overrated. You know, a lot of those people are the same people who look into Tesla. So the thing is, like, Tesla people aren't as nervous in a sense as everybody else. So the Tesla stock is definitely something to look into because, like what Elon Musk says, you know, that's what makes it go. It's a cult following. Tesla people who are deep in Tesla have a cult following, and I think you can look directly at Elon Musk and you could pretty much decide what's going to happen with the Tesla stock. You know, a lot of times there's a bunch of different factors, things like that, but his influence over it is so impactful. Like if Jeff Bezos tweets, nobody's going to pay attention to it, you know, stuff like that. But when Elon Musk
created that cult following,
exactly. You know, exactly. So paying attention to him and his followers, things like that, it's huge. It's definitely going to play a role in the stock. So that's like somebody who, like, I'll have their tweet notifications on, things like that.
No, definitely. I definitely agree with both of y'all, especially with Hero about not wanting to buy the options. If you look at those option prices, those are way overvalued. Like just one option on Tesla is a couple thousand. Some of them are even tens of thousands. I'm like, yeah, I'm done trading options. I think this is probably the last week that I traded their options. I made about 8% off one. It could have been about 30%, but again, these prices are way too volatile, way too high. So I took my quick 8% and got out. But I think the stock is definitely a strong buy in my opinion. But you did mention about the electric vehicle charging, and just this past week, a major Twitter account and research company called Citron Research, they attacked and basically said, yeah, they're pretty much short on Blink. I gave a $20 price target. I think it's sitting around like 37 earlier this week, but then it dropped. It just tanked after they released that statement. I'm a strong believer in Blink. Ms. B had basically called that out, and she made 227% profit since she bought in and called that out. It's been a great stock, but I think in the future it still has more to run up. But right now it's taking a quick dive. It may bounce back this week, but it was just interesting, and that just goes into the point of how a lot of people that have clout, like Elon, Citron, if you have a Twitter account, they say the specific things, a stock could go up or it could go down. And it's just interesting seeing stuff like that. So, and they had done the same thing for another company. I think it was NIO in the past couple of weeks. They had announced or say, hey, we don't think this company is good. This is a terrible company to invest in. And everyone following that account and said, oh, yeah, sell, price drops down. It was interesting, though. So definitely watch, follow those accounts, Elon Musk's account, Citron Research, those big Twitter accounts that definitely move the market, so that you can be ahead of the game. Yeah, I sold off my shares of Blink as well. I think I made about 120% profit. I'm still holding on to a couple shares because I'm a long believer with the whole infrastructure going in up until 2030. So I'm probably going to hold that for the next couple of years. Other stuff going on just to save time. Nordstrom Rack rally. They had a great rally this week. I think I saw someone make $87,000 just off an options call. He put in 6,000, made $87,000 profit off that options call. And that's mainly because, and I was looking into it and I was paying attention. I was like, a lot of people believe that with the new news coming out, hey, people are coming out, go buy into those biggest retail stores, one of them being Nordstrom Rack, and they shot up this week. So I think in the next couple of weeks, definitely pay attention to those retail stores that have been taking a hit over the past couple of months, because those are going to start bouncing up. And I might even try looking at some of those this week from the option strategy, because if he's making that much, hey, I want to get a piece of the pie too. And lastly, earnings losers. This was the conclusion of the earnings season, and a lot of the worst companies that took a hit were oil, gas, and a couple old school energy stocks. With the whole transition to electric vehicles, whole transition to cleaner energy, you're going to see these industries take a dive. And I think this is just going to continue over the next couple of weeks. So definitely buy into those newer cleaner energy stocks, electric vehicles if you're interested, and other stuff like that. But a couple of the members' picks just quickly. I had made a 20% profit off my Riot call, 52% off my FSR stock call. That's Fisker. That's another new EV vehicle. I think that's going to be the branded American electric vehicle. So that was one reason I got into it. Tesla, quick 8%. Took my money and ran the other direction. SBE, that is ChargePoint. This is a competitor for Blink, but they also have the largest market share. I think about 73% market share for electric vehicle charging stations. Made a quick 84% profit off the options. I also bought into the stock, sold that for 57% profit. I am holding more stocks and options because I got back into that. Another one being Marathon Energy, or Marathon Passing Group, my bad. I made about 84% profit off their stock. Plug, I think someone else had made, I don't know, that was me. I made 90% off that as well. I did break my rules one time this week, and I took a loss of 40% on the Palantir call. I had not seen the validation or confirmation on one of the trends I was seeing, but it looked like a great play just from the hype. I think I mistimed it. This definitely still turned out to be profitable for other people, but my timing was a little bit off, and I ended up losing money. But again, cut my loss at 40%. I didn't want to keep risking it at all. And yeah, that is the week in review. This time for the week ahead, not much going on this week. I didn't really see much. Holiday season, but in lockdown. Small caps still rising. Actually, I need to remove this. This is not the early market close. Other things going on would also be the rising COVID cases and a couple earnings reports. A lot of people are talking about Zoom coming up this Monday. What else? Which other companies here? Cloudera, that's another popular one. Salesforce. Which other stocks are having their earnings report? I don't think I see any other one. Okta is another one. Snowflake, a recent company that IPO'd. They're having their first, I'm assuming their first earnings report. DocuSign, that's a great stock that a lot of people have been looking at. I think their ticker symbol is DLCU, as well as Dollar General. What do y'all think?
Dollar General's CEO is seen sitting with the Republican snob who is complaining about his election and how he has a better idea and plan for how he's gonna make things doing. Needless to say, they're not doing well because the state is definitely thinking about revoking that the incentive in North Carolina, I believe, for Dollar Generals. Dollar Generals have been people have been advocating for all these Dollar Generals showing up in the hood to start selling produce, but that means they would have to increase their standard quality of sales, which is going to cost them money to renovate it, and they don't want to. They're basically shells, warehouses that have a open sign and everything's half off there. So I see why there's a hesitant to it, but if you're not going to be supporting the people in the community that you're hosted in, you got to get out. So I'm interested to see how this plays out if now that a lot of these Republicans are no longer in charge to keep this promise to these CEOs.
Facts. How about you, Hamid?
I think Dollar General's just been a kind of weird thing how they survived everything that was going on as far as like with other stocks, other stores and things like that going down, but they stayed to survive. I think long term they're going to be something that continues to grow, but I don't expect anything like crazy out of them. I think it's just a nice safe play. I don't think they're going to have to be very volatile or anything, but it's just something safe.
Facts. The biggest ones for me, I'm gonna be looking at is probably Zoom, Snowflake on Wednesday. Well, Zoom is on after close on Monday. Snowflake is after close on Wednesday. They're a stock that everyone's been talking about, especially with the recent IPO. I think they do data. They do data for the government and things like that. Also, Docu. I think I see TD Ameritrade too. Recent news being that they have been acquired. They're being acquired by Schwab, and they'll be merging with them. But those are the ones I'm going to be looking at this week. Other stuff is EV stocks. That's pretty much the biggest headline this week. Bitcoin, EV stocks, and other IPOs. A couple other companies that are IPOing in the near future. DoorDash, Robinhood, Airtable, Coursera, Stripe, Chime, UiPath, you name it. Airbnb as well. Airbnb is one that is coming out, I think, in December or early January, and should definitely be one to watch out. But I think DoorDash, they said they're IPOing next week.
Yeah, next week.
That's definitely gonna be something to look at, especially with them being a huge player in the food delivery service. Their main competitors being Uber Eats and which other one is it? I think Postmates. Grubhub and Postmates. Yep. But that's pretty much the week ahead. We won't spend too much time talking about it. I don't think much people are looking at those ones, but we can, just in interest of time, we can move on to members picks unless anyone has anything else to add. Nope. All right, moving on. Moving on to members picks. This week for me, a lot of stocks that I'll be looking at would be same electric vehicles, newer tech stocks like those Snowflake, Asana that recently IPO'd. I'm also looking at something popped on my radar, Workhorse again, as well as Fubo.tv. Those are stocks that I'm going to be looking at. Same work from home, Peloton, Zoom, you name it. How about you guys?
Go ahead.
I'm looking into Pepsi. Pepsi is just something I've been in and out of. It's not too volatile, but when it has a nice day, it's a nice day. Usually tries to stay between that 140, 145 range. It usually stays within there, so it's nothing too crazy. If you just time it right, it's usually a nice little play.
You said Pepsi?
Yeah.
Dope. How about you, Hero?
I'm going to be looking to, I have acquired about $200 to make a spread. So I'm going to take my chances on a spread with either the SBC, Fisker, SPG, or I'm going to just re-up and try and even out some of my fractional shares, because it's a lot easier to scalp off of fractional shares if you have a solid number. So you can easily place your daily average. Because if you're using Robinhood, the daily average via percentage shows you the total. So you don't know really how much you made that day. So try and level it off. I just want to, if this is a wave that's going to be going, I just want to ride the wave. I have all the stocks I need.
Facts. So which stock ticker symbol you had said?
I said we'll go SBE, SPG.
SPG. I might buy more shares as well too.
Because their dividends is amazing. So
yep, I think they have the best dividend rate out there actually.
Well, yeah, because of how often they pay. Yes.
Yep. I'm definitely probably just gonna load up, throw 1,000 to them, and just get that dividend every year.
Yeah, it's about to hit its 52-week
high. Yep.
Yeah.
Especially with things open, they've gone up. I think they dropped all the way down to $50, and now they're back at $85. Man, it's just more.
So they're right. They're prime for buying. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
It's definitely strong buy. Yep.
Yeah. If you
honestly should have gotten in earlier.
No, and I got in at $54 with 3 shares.
Facts.
So I'm already up a few $100 on it. But it's just like the dividends is what I'm really there for. The $130 is just the icing on the cake.
Facts. No, I definitely agree with that. Other things that other people mentioned. Enoch says he's looking at Gap and CRSR for a potential call options play.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Rebecca says she's looking at Zoom for their earnings. Same things that we said as well. Rebecca, she's been killing it in the game. She's been definitely killing it in this game. So if she says something, I'm paying attention.
I'm John Calipari out here with the recruits.
Go crazy for that referral. Jesse also says he's looking at VBK, is a small capital growth ETF over the next couple months, and he's also looking at Etsy. I think I did buy a couple shares of Etsy this past week because I did notice they were great. I think they were oversold. And again, the big player in the e-commerce industry. So I bought a couple shares just to see where that goes, especially with them being similar to Shopify and things like that. But yeah, that is pretty much our members picks for this week. Yeah, anything else that you would like to add?
No, I think that's good.
Dope. And lastly, this week's question of the week to the audience, those listening: what did you get for Black Friday or Cyber Monday? And also, did you buy Bitcoin? Everyone's been talking about Bitcoin. Did you buy it and why? I'm telling you, I did. Hero saying he didn't. You stupid if you did. Hamid, feel free to share your opinion.
I did. I don't touch those things. So
True.
At 16,000, I'll buy 100. That's it.
Bet. But if we do look at these comments, so definitely go comment, send us a voice message, a DM, send us a post, anything. Just tell us what you think. Respond to these questions. Someone did respond to one of our questions past, and I'm sad I don't know his Instagram name, but basically he had given us the name of this next week's book of the week, and that is How to Day Trade for a Living by Andrew Aziz. So thank you for that call out. I'm gonna look up his name real quick so I can see so I can give him a quick shout out. But what do y'all think? Have any of y'all read that book before?
No, but day trading is an art form.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking yourself to sustain yourself on the volatility of a market. There's two people that can do that: people who don't do it and fail, and people who have acquired enough capital to do it. There's restaurants don't shut down because they have bad food. They shut down because they don't have enough to bolster their books to the point where they can survive on a red day.
Nice.
That's what we're talking about. So I'll be interested to hear. I read books like this to poke holes in them. It's a good thing to be able to challenge them. So I'm interested to see.
No, definitely. Now that's the whole point of reading. Change your perspective, but also reaffirm your perspective as well. And that's something I'm really getting into more, reading more books so I can kind of learn more from other people, but also understand my perspective even more. But yeah, big shout out to _Thirds World. Thank you for that recommendation. We are going to read it next week and give us our feedback. He really loved the last book that we talked about, Calculated Risk, and he said it's definitely a great read. So definitely thank you for giving us that recommendation. And if you are interested in being involved with the Trade Tribe, comment, join the discussion. We read your comments, we read your captions, we read your opinions, and we love to talk about it. So join the discussion, join the tribe, all of that. And yeah, that is the end of our episode. Just like every other episode, thanks for listening. Thanks for those that we had on today. This is the Trade Tribe, so make sure to share this with your friends and family. Y'all are all together right now. It's Thanksgiving, so I know all of y'all together right now. So go tell them about the Trade Tribe. Why are you holding out on them getting some money? They gave you turkey, so give them some free money. But yeah, whichever way you're listening or watching to this, go follow and subscribe to us at the Trade Tribe on YouTube, any podcast app, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, anything. Good luck trading and tribe out.
Take care.
Yeah. Dope.
I mean, you too damn dark to be out here with that foreshadow on you, man. You out here looking like the night. I'm vengeance.
I don't want people to see my face too well because then they're gonna realize that you guys are ugly. So I keep like this to make even the playing field.
I'm not ugly, I'm cute, or whatever Jay-Z said.
I'm a grown man. I don't need to be handsome anymore. I got a car in the house. What do I need to be handsome for?
Facts. Well, how is your Thanksgiving, Hamid? How's things been going with you guys?
Bro,
how's it feel to be back in Chicago?
Yeah, bro, it sucks. But no, I've been just so busy. Like I have finals coming up, and then there's a lot of stuff going on with the studio. And like it seems like when the studio needs me the most is the same time my finals is going on. So I have to like balance that out. But that's been the studio stuff, and that's been a lot on me. And like just dealing with manufacturers for the clothing, like there's been a lot that's going on. But this week is like my last week to focus on stuff other than school. So I'm gonna try to get everything in place so that people can just do things. I don't have to worry about them. So I'm like next week, not this coming week, but the week after that, phones on DND and calling it a week.
No, facts. And let me know however I can help out with that. That's definitely stuff I want to help out with, get involved in.
Sure.
I definitely feel it.
Appreciate it.
Definitely feel it. I just notice what's behind you. It says dry ass turkey.
Next week.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
I just noticed what you had behind you. Dry ass turkey or your wall, hero. That's funny.
Ready for next week? Episode 11, all by yourself. You've completed your task.
Nah, yeah, it's crazy. I was on the phone with the producer of one of my favorite podcasts earlier today. I kind of explained the idea to him. He said he really liked it. He's gonna go take a listen to one of our last episode 6, which is probably I think our best one. So definitely gonna get a good impression from him. But I'm excited. I feel like we've come a long way. This is season 1. I feel like next week I'm either gonna do a special segment or just do and keep it separate from episode 11. Just keep episode 11 regular, but then do a special segment on I guess a year in review. Because I think that's going to line up very well with the last week of December. So I think I'm going to do like a special segment, just see all the things I've learned, everything we've gone on this journey. And yeah, if you have any ideas, just let me know. I'm pretty much going to be planning that this week. Going to try to shoot it some point this week. Friday, maybe.
I think
what time did you guys start the actual
make
meeting?
It your own.
Say it again, Hero or Hamid. I think both of you are talking at the same time.
What time did you guys start the actual meeting today?
We started a little bit late, 6:30. I'm in California right now, so it was a little weird right now.
What kind of data does Spotify give you as far as listening and stuff like that? Do they give you like what kind of data do they give you? Like if you can send us a screenshot of the data that they provide, because I was just interested because I know like with music at least. They give they give me like when somebody skips your song, when they do certain things. So if there's any data that they provide with you, that would be really nice to know. To see to figure out where like people are losing people or where we're things like that.
Definitely
that'd be huge.
Definitely, I can go look into that. Pretty much all I'm using right now. Can y'all see my screen? I'm using Anchor FM.
Okay.
Give us a little bit of information. We have a total of 124 plays, estimated about 17 unique listeners.
That's good.
Our best episode was episode 1. Interesting enough, we had the most listens on that. And then it took a dive, but I think we tried different things and it started going back up. But yeah, but I am seeing an uptrend somewhat, especially with like us like posting those like snippets and things like that. It does tell us that we get most of our listens from Apple Podcasts. Okay. I think a couple of weeks ago it was Spotify. Spotify was in the lead, but I think more people are listening to us on Apple Podcasts right now. Interesting enough, this is actually really cool to me. People around the world are listening to us, but mainly in the US, of course. UK, Portugal, South Africa, Singapore, Israel, Canada, you name it. Before it was actually more female listeners than male listeners, but I think it's switched recently. Yeah, it gives a little bit of analytics. I'm still trying to learn all of that. But yeah, cool. I'm gonna definitely go check into Apple Podcasts and iTunes specifically to see what those stats are, if it is available. But yeah.
Okay, dope.
Dope.
Don't forget to send out those text messages in the chat when you post on Twitter or you post the link or like that. Make sure you send that in the chat so we're aware so that we can go and retweet and all that kind of stuff. Make sure.
Definitely. Do people really see that? Because I definitely be adding everyone and throwing that in the announcements channel.
You do that in Discord you do that in Discord?
In Discord, yeah.
I was just saying at least in the tribe chat, because in the tribe chat everybody in there. It's more
in the chief one or in the chief one, right?
No, or even in the iMessage chat because it's personal. We know each other personally there. So it's like because so it's like okay, obviously we're gonna retweet because we're all invested in this, as opposed to the people who are in the Discord. They're not as invested as we are. So we have like it's more of our job to promote than theirs. So yeah, definitely like, hey, I'm about to post this at whatever time. So we're on it.
Facts. All right, bet. I'm gonna start doing that more. I'm slowly getting into it more now. But that's definitely a great call out.
And I'm probably gonna turn on my notifications so when the account does tweet, I'm alert. So I'll probably do that anyways too. Just yeah.
Perfect. No, that would definitely be much appreciated because I feel like we have a lot of potential. We don't have enough eyes on us yet. So the more views we get,
we just have to keep the momentum going.
Yep, the consistency, and as I appreciate both of you guys keeping us on that. Hero, I mean specifically, and yeah.
All right.
We can definitely take off. Hopefully, season 2 next year. We're off to a bigger start, but let's lock this all off stuff in.
I bet.
Yeah, man, good stuff. Like I said, I'll jump on next week just to hit the record button, but so I can help you edit it down.
Perfect. That works.
All right,
boys. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had. Shit.
All
right.
Go get some food. Work on actual work stuff, Microsoft stuff. Hopefully, I don't lose my job.
Yeah. All right.
You can't get fired on your off day, man. It's not a good look.
Yeah, they're not gonna find my office when they get back on. They're gonna like, we got news for you. Come into my office.
No, man.
Dope. Damn, I got a pen in this man. Wait, I'm gonna catch you another time unless you have anything else.
No, I'm good.
Dope.
I'm just on the other side. That's all. All right. See you, bro.
All right, see ya.
Jeez.